One of the very few arguments that actually challenge the pro-right to die as a basic human right position is that it would affect that when someone ends their own life, it automatically affects other people. Now, this is not a sufficient reason because an individual is not an instrument for other people. Forcing someone to continue to live in order to maintain the emotional stability of other people or even society is unethical because it is an objectification and an instrumentalization. It would make the individual who does not want to live an instrument to maintain their emotional stability. And it is hopefully self-explanatory why instrumentalizations are unethical. If that is not self-explanatory, then we have another problem, and there's some more things that need clarification. But I will for now assume that it's self-explanatory why it's not okay to instrumentalize someone on such an existential and profound level, and why an instrumentalization itself is deeply unethical. And unethical means it's unacceptable, which means things have to change on this planet. A right to die should get more attention, and human rights activists should invest more energy into that topic. Now, back to the argument of that it's not acceptable to deny a right to die because or in order to grant the stability of other people / society. The only incident where it is reasonable and justified to dismiss and withhold access to a right to die is when someone decides to have a kid, because deciding to have a kid means deciding to create another living being, and creating another living being is a responsibility, and those people should be held accountable for having created life. If you create life, you have to take care of it. Now, from my personal perspective, I think there might be some exceptions to where people who have created life should also be granted a right to die, because it would make the adult child feel guilty for knowing that they are the reason, unintentionally but practically, why their parent has no legal right to end their own life, even though they don't want to live anymore. I think a lot of that power should be then put into their children, and it should be decided based on whether that adult child still needs their parent or not. Then at the same time, in most cases, if someone wants to end their own life, they are probably struggling to function, and it might even be better for even a child for their parent to end their own life because it might prevent some other personal trauma. But here is where it gets very complex, but I didn't want to leave that part out because, of course, it's not completely simple. But it is completely simple with everyone else because everyone else who didn't have kids doesn't owe anyone to exist. They don't have anyone to, they are not responsible on an existential level to anyone else because they never consented to having been brought into existence in the first place. I hope this was educational and thank you for listening.